Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls.
You might have seen us do the first Taylor Swift book tag. We really enjoyed filming that video. And Sarah Jane created the Taylor Swift book tag number 2 based on the 1989 album, which is just so good. So we are very happy to be filming this today.
Yeah, thank you for tagging us, and it's quite a long one, so let's just get straight into it.
The first question is shake it off. Haters gonna hate, hate, hate. Which book criticisms do you shake off regardless of what people say?
I will choose the Pittacus Law series for this. People just don't like it, and I don't hear much about it on BookTube, and I don't know why, because I love it. I know the film was a bit meh, but I really love the series. I love 4, I love 9. Yeah. He's my favourite. So I'm going to shake off the hate and look forward to the next book because I love it.
For this one I'm going to say John Green, just kind of all of his books in general, because people do love them but people do also criticise them, and I can kind of understand some viewpoints where they're coming from, like the books are a little bit similar sometimes, but I just shake it off because I don't care. I'm always going to read his books, I'm always going to love them, and even when I'm probably grown out of them, I'm just always going to treasure them and just ignore what people say.
The next question is, I know places, loose lips sink ships all the damn time. That's a bit of a tongue twister. The question is, which ship do you set your heart on and then watch it sink?
For this one I'm going to say Sam and Selena in The Assassin's Blade. This really, I really set my heart on that ship. And I'm not going to say what happens because I don't want to spoil it, but I do think people should read The Assassin's Blade and not just ignore it as, boring novellas, because it is a proper story and there's a lot of character development and there's a really nice ship that sinks so badly. It crashes and burns and explodes and it hurts.
My favourite ship, it wasn't really a relationship, well it could have been if things had developed. I'm not going to judge. It's Thomas and Chuck from The Maze Runner. Crashed and burned and my heart, and that's not going to happen anymore, so let's just move on.
Question 3 is Wonderland. We found Wonderland, you and I got lost in it. Which fictional character would you like to take with you to another land?
We found quite a lot of hilarity in this question because my mind first went to Pi from The Life of Pi, because I love Pi, and I thought, what if we put him in the beloved children's tale, The Tiger That Came to Tea, because he loves Richard Parker.
You'd just be so happy, you'd just be surrounded by talking tigers.
And he could feed them, not his mother or his chef, and they wouldn't starve and they wouldn't die.
My choice for this was Standish Treadwell, the main character in Maggot Moon, because he has a rough life, he's in a dystopian world and he really, his mum and dad are gone and he has a rough time, he gets bullied, and I think it'd be lovely to put him in Neverland from Peter Pan, because although Neverland has its downsides, I think he would be very happy in Neverland. He could just keep all his innocence that he's lost with all the horribleness in his life and just fly around, and I think he'd be really happy.
The fourth question is Wildest Dreams. He's so bad but he does it so well. Which character do you love because of his darkness, not in spite of it? And you can also make this a woman if you prefer.
And that's what I did, because I could think of some bad characters, but I think my favourite has to be Bellatrix, because I really love how twisted she is. She just enjoys torturing people until they're insane and killing people. She just laughs when she kills people, and it's really disturbing, but I just love it, especially Helena Bonham Carter's portrayal of Bellatrix. It's really, really good.
Another one of mine is Kane from the Gone series. He's just a kid, but then he sort of has a Lord of the Flies moment where he just decides to become the globe's Hitler.
Yeah.
And he just kind of takes over and just uses his power for evil instead of good. But he's really sexy and I love him so much because he's so evil.
Question 5 is Out of the Woods. When you started crying baby, I did too. Name a time that you cried with a fictional character.
This was quite a good one because it's not when you cried for them, it's when you cried with them. So something sad has happened to them. I'm not going to explain this too much because of spoilers, but I picked Clary Frey from City of Heavenly Fire. Just the ending in general, she's been through so much in the entire series, and if you read it you'll know why I'm crying with Clary, why Clary's crying, why I'm sobbing my eyes out for her. It's just so sad, so yeah, read City of Heavenly Fire and understand.
My answer for this is I was crying with Pudge in Looking for Alaska in the after section of the book. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but he is sobbing and so am I. Just the whole after section is just really, really upsetting and heartbreaking.
Sixth question is clean. The drought was the very worst. Not the drive was the very... I thought it was drive, but it's the drought was the very worst. Which anticipated book release felt like the longest wait ever? We are never, ever, ever getting this book.
My answer for this is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, the third book in the Miss Peregrine series. I've not been like crazy wanting this book, but I remember when I finished Hollow City last summer, it ended on a big like, oh my god, I just needed the next one straight away, and I heard about how it took him 2.5 years in between book 1 and 2, so I was really terrified I was going to have to wait ages, but he has announced the cover and that it's coming fairly soon, so I'm not as tortured by the wait now, but I really, really want that book.
A book that I waited ages for was the 13th book in the Spook series. I think it was called The Spook's Revenge. This series went on for about a decade, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting it last year, The Spook's Revenge. I didn't even buy it because I'd given up by now. I remember reading the first Spooks book on holiday at Butlins. Like, you only take kids to Butlins,
Aww.
right? I was in Butlins. I must have been about 8. So yeah, it has been a decade. This series went on for 10 years, and I waited that long to finally get a resolution, and then he kind of botches it and then just starts another series. I'm like, what you playing at, Joseph Delaney? What you playing at?
He's milking it a little bit.
It was still worth the wait because I found out what happened, but it just didn't end how I wanted it to, and that is a danger for long releases because God, that was a painful 10 years.
Question 7 is Bad Blood. Band-aids don't fix bullet holes. Name a book that gave you the most painful of feels.
I have quite a few books I could say for this one.
Yeah.
I usually feel quite badly with books, but I'm going to go for Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider. I've read this one pretty recently. I remember reading it in the library with Laura and some of our friends, and I was reading the last couple of pages like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because like, I won't spoil it for you, but you know when you have like a dog and then something bad happens to the dog? Yeah.
Oh.
It's the worst bit. Like in every book, I think you should have a dog because it just makes it so much more emotionally intense. And this book, just how it all comes together at the end. It's also called Severed Heads and Broken Hearts, or Broken Hearts and Severed Heads. I don't even
that's
know why.
my version of it. Has that title, which is kind of creepy. It's not as nice as The Beginning of Everything, which sounds quite positive.
So look out for that if you see that book, because it is called The Beginning of Everything.
My answer for this one links to my answer to question 2, and that is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas, because My Sunken Ship gave me a lot of feels. Like the entire collection of novellas gave me feels because they were all really well written and just interesting, exciting. I think the third one, where she's in the desert, it was really good. That gave me some feels as well, but definitely the last two, it was just good, and it hurt my soul. But like Amy said, there is a lot of books that give me feels, but I think that's the most feels I've had recently.
Question 8 is Blank Space, so let's be friends. I'm dying to see how this one ends. Which final book in a trilogy or a series in general were you most nervous about reading?
For this one, I'm going to say an ending to a trilogy I actually haven't finished yet, and that is Ignite Me by Tahira Mafi. I read the first 2, I read Unravel Me pretty recently, and I'm just sort of wary of the writing style because sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's really bad, and I can just see the ending being really cheesy and just like you could predict it, and I'm just worried that it's going to be a letdown because the second book was a huge improvement on the first and I don't want it to go downhill again.
Mine is Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. I remember reading this when I was a kid. Like, this was one of the series that I had constantly ongoing for quite a while. I remember being so excited for the end because I was like, it's the 13th, it's the last one, what's the secret? And me and like my cousin spent literally so long trying to figure it out. Like, who are these people? We spent so long and we still don't know. We bought the Beatrice letters, we read all the starts and the end, and we tried to piece it together. We thought like the letters were like in different orders and it spelt a name out, and we basically just went insane trying to figure it out, this code. There probably isn't even one. And like, we were like, who is this mysterious Brett Hallquist? And he was just the illustrator. So yeah, we went insane, and I was really nervous for the end, but that was a good ending.
Question number 9 is style, because we never go out of style. Which 3 authors' writing styles do you love?
We could spend hours on this
Yeah.
question, talking about who we love. And the first three that come to mind as I was scrolling through Goodreads are Matt Haig, because I've been reading a lot by him recently and I love his style.
Yeah.
Andrew Smith, because he's just wacky.
Yeah.
All his books, like 100 Sideways Miles and the Alex Crouch I wanted to get round to, and also the Grasshopper Jungle, that one.
Yeah.
He's wacky. And also Marcus Zuzak, because I've only read 2 books by him, The Book Thief and The Messenger.
Oh, yeah.
I Am the Messenger. And I'm just literally dying over Marcus Zuzak at the minute. I want to read another book written by him.
Yeah.
And I just love them authors. Oh, also just John Green, but just as always, doesn't even need to be said.
I'm going to say John Green because he is one of my top 3 definitely. I think I would just read his shopping list, as he said, in The Fault in Our Stars, because I really just love his writing style. I love the metaphors he uses and they always really resonate with me, so I will just never get enough of his writing. Equally, I love David Levithan. I think he's really creative. I like how he plays with kind of the format of what he writes. Like he tries to do, he's just very inventive, which I really like, and he's also just a brilliant author, and I like that nearly all of his books have homosexual characters, because that's something you really don't see a lot, and he always tries to do that. But not that that's the point of the books, just because it's normal. It should be in most books. And then I struggled to think of a third one without going for the obvious J.K. Rowling, because I feel like that doesn't even need to be said. So I was thinking Shakespeare, because I really like Shakespeare. I love every play that I've studied, every poem that I've read. It's very just beautiful writing style, and I don't understand how you can write in iambic pentameter with everything, because I can't do 2 lines in iambic pentameter. But yeah, Shakespeare just deserves some mentionings on BookTube, because we always forget about Shaky, but he's really good.
I love little Billy.
Yeah, Billy Shaky, I love him.
We share a little birthday and everything. I might just light a candle for Billy every year.
Aw.
So that was our Taylor Swift book tag number 2. We hope you enjoyed it.
Really like these Taylor Swift book related questions, because we are new Swifties and we always just have a lot of fun doing these sort of videos.
Let us know down below what your answers to the questions are, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
Celebrating, I was like, yeah.
Question 3 is Wonderland. We found Wonderland?
Wonderland.
No, I'll do it again. Question 3 is Wonderland. I can't do these questions. They're too long. Question 3 is Wonderland. We found Wonderland. You and I got lost in it. Yes.
Yay! Which... No. So
know.
close.
Question 5 is Out of the Woods. When you started crying, baby, so did I. Did I do it first?
When you started crying.
So did
So did I.
Question 5 is Out of the Woods. When you started crying...